It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is CarEdge Live for Wednesday, November 26th. Yes, just one day before, Gobble Gobble Day, with your hosts, me, Ray, in Ventnor, the Goblin Fool, and my handsome young man's son, Zach, in Washington, D.C. How the hell are you today this morning?
Concerned. But you know what? You're my dad, and I love you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. We do have a sponsor for today's program. We're going to talk about our friends over at Delete Me in just a little bit. But before that, a friendly reminder, folks, we are running our Black Friday special back at CarEdge.com. It is the biggest promotion we run all year, and it lasts for about another 5 days. $300 off our car buying service, 30% off CarEdge Pro. If you are in the market to buy a car between now and the end of the year, or quite frankly, even into next year, although we're going to talk about why right now is the time of year to be making moves if you've been patiently on the sidelines, please consider using our products and services back at CarEdge.com. Dad, the big story this morning I want to kick things off with, we have yet another price increase coming in 2026. Audi raising the Q3 SUV price by $3,900 going into next year. This is after they already raised the Q5 price significantly. This is the beginning of a trend that we anticipate seeing in 2026. Car prices, MSRPs, they don't really have anywhere to go except for up, unfortunately. And that is bad news for shoppers, but good news for right now. You take advantage of the fact that we're at the end of the year, the best time to buy a car. There are incentives. There's an incredible oversupply of inventory. But Dad, we've got yet another vehicle getting a price increase year over year.
Well, the good news is you won't have to worry about that Q3 until the first quarter of next year when it actually comes out.
Sure.
But it is a sad commentary on the industry when we know for a fact that inventories are building up because the people who actually can afford cars are staying on the sidelines longer than they have in the past. And I don't think raising the prices on certain vehicles is a way to, I don't know, draw those people back into the market.
No.
Now, when you look at the Q3, yes, it's redesigned much like the Q5 was redesigned, but they've dropped 2 trim levels. You know, they used to be able to get it in the Premium and the Premium Plus. Well, now you can only get it in the S line, which is naturally more expensive than the Premium or the Premium Plus to begin with. But when you cut out base models or lower equipped models, and your base MSRP goes up nearly $4,000, that just signals to people, well, it might have been something I was interested in when it was $4,000 less, but at this price point, it's totally outside of my budget. So I'm not 100% sure as to what it is that Audi is trying to do when it comes to selling vehicles in this country, but it seems like they're going to be on the wrong side of history for this.
And it's not just Audi, Dad. For example, Honda, there's an image going viral online right now, and it's a 2026 Prelude, Dad, that a dealership has added a bunch of products to, taking the asking price up to nearly $62,000 on a Honda Prelude. Who's going out there buying a $62,000 with $10,000 of markup Honda Prelude? No one. I mean, that's like the confounding aspect of this is, as we go into 2026, we know that MSRPs and asking prices will likely go up as a result of increase to costs for these manufacturers to produce their vehicles. That being said, when we look at the data for new vehicle inventory right now, we have the highest level of new vehicle inventory we've seen all year long. Dad, I'll pull that up here just so we can look at it. We're at nearly 3 million vehicles in dealer inventory, almost a 90 days supply of dealer inventory. And so it's confounding because, yes, right now we are in the period where the dealerships, the manufacturers, everyone in this value equation is incentivized to sell these vehicles. And so right now certainly is a buyer's market. And it gets added on to because you look at some of these things that are happening already, and it just signals that it's going to get worse next year, which could mean that December of next year is an even better time to be buying a new car. But obviously, if you don't have a year to wait, you might as well make the move now. But it is just confounding, Dad. That Honda is nuts to me. 62 grand for a Prelude? What?
Well, I think the Honda dealership's hope is that somebody remembers the original Prelude, and desperately wants to relive their youth and is willing to overpay to do it. you know, the concept of adding $10,000 market adjustments on, and I'm going to guess that car is the MSRP on that car is probably somewhere in the 40s. Okay, and then the dealer added dealer installed accessories and a $10,000 additional dealer markup. Because there are people out there who will remember the last version of the Prelude, and honestly, the Prelude was a hell of an exciting coupe that was available through Honda, and it was quite popular. So I'm sure there's a certain affinity to be able to get back into another one. But the fact that the dealer wants to be that greedy, wants to, I'm guessing, what did they add? About $14,000 off of the
Exactly.
original
Yeah.
MSRP.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a signal to anybody who would be interested in that vehicle that this is a dealership that isn't going to care about me ever coming back, because, well, when the ether wears off and I realize I paid an extra $14,000 for the vehicle just to be one of the first ones to get it, I'm kind of going to resent that. And that's not how you build your business or build customer relations or keep a customer in the fold so that they'll want to come back.
Yeah, absolutely, Dad. Absolutely. And we're also seeing another phenomena in the market, which is these manufacturers are choosing to go more and more up market. For example, here's an article earlier this year. I'm going to share it on the screen right here. You've got, there it is, why Mazda wants to take on Mercedes and BMW. We also know, Dad, that Kia keeps making their vehicles more expensive, trying to go up market, trying to push their brand to be more appealing, to attract, they say younger shoppers, but who knows? They're pushing up market. Same thing with Hyundai. We'll do a little bit of a live experiment here. I'll go over to the CarEdge car search, and let's just plug in really quickly Hyundai. We know Hyundai continues to go more up market, and let's look at the Palisade, best-selling vehicle they've got in their lineup. And yeah, there it is. This is what I wanted to look at. What's the first row of MSRPs we're looking at? 60,000 big ones.
Oh my God. Yeah.
For Hyundais, man, for Hyundais. And so we know these automakers continue to want to push up market, increase their MSRPs, increase their margins, especially as their costs go up. It's why, especially when you start to factor in, and we keep track of this obviously very closely back on CarEdge.com, when is the best time to buy? Down to the freaking hour, folks. I mean, we are in that best time of the year to make these moves. So take advantage of the fact that there's an oversupply of inventory, and know that a year from now, there will also probably be an oversupply of inventory, because all signs point to fewer people being able to afford vehicles, and eventually these manufacturers will have to reverse course on pricing.
Well, we do know that the anticipation is that sales in November will be down 8% year over year. Okay, so that's a significant decline from what we saw last November. Now, knowing that there's an excess amount of new car inventory and that sales really dropped off in November, that's going to make every dealership even more motivated to move the metal, so to speak, to move the inventory that they have on hand. So that should make it a little bit easier to work discounts. That's not to say that the vehicles still won't be overpriced, but whatever the savings are will be significantly higher now than what they would have been 8 weeks ago, or what they'll probably be 10, 12 weeks from now.
Yeah. Man, what a situation we are currently in. Dad, let's take a second to thank the sponsor of today's program, our friends over at Delete Me. Now, you and I both know, Pops, there are data brokers out there selling our information online, and anyone can buy it. Things like our phone numbers, social security numbers, home address, and so much more are sold online every single day, and they're available to marketers, scammers, and
the elusive everyone in between, which includes many of these automobile manufacturers who collect data on you and then sell it to these data brokers.
Delete Me helps you take control over your data. Delete Me removes your personal information from hundreds of data brokers on your behalf. My dad and I both have been using Delete Me for well over a year now, and you can get started today with a 20% off coupon code. Just use CarEdge at checkout, or click the link in the top of the description, joindeleteme.com/CarEdge. We appreciate Delete Me's continued sponsorship of this program. Dad, you want to switch gears?
Okay, I've always been known as a gear switcher.
All right, we're going to thank the folks in our chat quickly, and then we're going to go look at something on X from Squeegee Kids. Thank you, Squeegee Kids. Happy Thanksgiving to Ray and Zach. And of course, all the Gotcha Motor dealerships out there. Thank you, Squeegee Kid. Good to see you. And thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. From Joe, thank you, Joe. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Thanks for the quick reply, Pops. Thank you, Dad, for getting back.
Well, Joe. Yeah, you have no idea, but Joe and I have been emailing back and forth this morning. So my pleasure, Joe.
All right, Dad, here's what I wanted to put on your radar. This was tagged over on X, over on Twitter. Here's an example, y'all, of a Foursquare. And I'm going to have you break it down, Dad. This is on a 2024 brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee L. This is a car deal done last year, but I want to spend some time here. So we've got a trade-in, which is a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee. You can see they got the deal done because it says congrats with a big smiley face. Have you ever been known to write congrats in a Sharpie on a Foursquare paper?
Yes.
All righty. So let's break this down, Dad. Let's have this be educational. So if we're saying that now is the time to go buy in today's market, let's break down what we're looking at here. Let me get the chat off the screen. We got us down there. What are we looking at here, Dad? Vehicle price up at the top, 51,275. Break this down for us and explain what's going on here, please.
Okay, so the first square is the vehicle, the MSRP of the vehicle, and then the selling price. And
first square meaning the top left.
The top left. Okay, and as you can see, that vehicle has an MSRP of $51,275, and the dealer is selling it for $48,020 after the rebate, but it's plus tax, title, and fees. Oh my goodness! And one of those fees is bond coding for $1,495. So what I can extrapolate from that at the moment is that there isn't any discount other than the rebates, more than likely. The top right-hand corner is the current market value for your trade-in, okay, of $10,000. So that's the trade allowance. The bottom left-hand box is the anticipated cash down from the customer, and then the bottom right is what your payments are. And as you can see, the things that are circled here, okay, what's circled? The cash down, because that's one of the things that the dealership wants to concentrate on. You might not want to concentrate on that, but that's what they want to concentrate on. And then the circle of the payment at 84 months, somewhere between 619 and 627. Okay, now we don't know what the payoff was for the trade. We don't know if there's positive equity, negative equity. We don't know the actual breakdown of what the total selling price is or the out the door price, because the dealership personnel are getting you to concentrate on the two most important things to them. Cash down, because cash down typically impacts profit, and payments and terms. And what's surprising is that they actually put the term. In many cases, they just put a payment and a payment range. And then if the customer says, well, how long is that for? They might go, well, that's for the standard 84 months, but we could probably get you extended terms if you wanted it.
Dad, there's a lot in here. So,
God, yes.
Yeah, but I want to take our time, and I want you to be as clear as you possibly can. You said something that you don't often say on this channel. You said that cash down is profit for the dealership. You're going to have to explain that. And then also, will you take some time to explain the difference between this and how we coach people how to negotiate, which is obviously out the door price. You separate the trade-in as a separate transaction, et cetera. So first things first, though, you rarely say that line that you just said. So I'm going to need you to take a moment here to explain. Why is cash down profit for the dealership?
Because if there's no cash down and it's a payment that you have to get to, then the things that you're going to have to adjust are the price of the vehicle and the trade-in allowance. Now, if you're adjusting the price of the vehicle, you're lowering your gross profit in the vehicle to do that. And cash down allows you not to have to play with the profit in the vehicle. You're concentrating on. They might have started initially at $5,000 down, and the customer said, well, I only have $500 to put down. And they kept working the customer. Well, if you had to, could you come up with $2,500? And by the customer agreeing to that, they are not concentrating on the out the door price. They have no idea at this point in time what they're actually paying for the vehicle and how much they're really getting against the selling price of that vehicle for their trade-in. So it is a way to get a customer to take their eye off the ball. And the ball is the out the door price. That is the only thing you need to be concerned with initially. You have to work a discount on the vehicle, find out what the total out the door price is. The trade becomes a second transaction that ultimately, after you've agreed to a number on the trade, will impact that out the door price that you had agreed to. It will either raise it or lower it depending upon whether or not you have positive equity or negative equity. But concentrate on the out the door price first, and then work the trade in, then work cash down, then work payments, not cash down payments, trade in, price of car.
Well, the thing is that out the door is nowhere even to be found on this sheet.
No, they've never disclosed it. And the first time this customer might find out what the out the door number is when he's signing the bank contract. And he or she might not even pay that close attention to what the total price of the vehicle is, because the finance manager is going to be concentrating. As you can see, your payment's going to be $625.87 for that 84 months, and they'll just keep concentrating on that and nothing else.
This is the type of stuff that goes on day in and day out at car dealerships, and why it's so important to know how to negotiate. I also like that cash down is referred to as initial investment. You see that?
Yes. Yeah, because who doesn't want to put an initial investment on a depreciating asset?
I like Igor's comment here. I always advise my friends to get up and leave if they see a Foursquare at the dealership, because if you stay, you will battle this dealership forever to get a deal. How do you feel about this, Dad? Do you think the Foursquare is A-okay? You keep doing it, you keep negotiating, or is this something that's almost a red flag to you?
Well, I see a lot of comments where the comments are, "Oh, dealers don't use the Foursquare anymore." Oh, really? I mean, maybe not at your dealership, but
this is a year old, but still, this is a good example.
And this is an absolute Foursquare. But dealerships do use printouts that aren't broken down into these four squares, but it is what I would call a disguised or hidden Foursquare, because it's going to show you a selling price. It's going to show you a trade allowance. It's going to show you what your options are with $5,000 down, $4,000 down. It's going to show you what your payment range could be at 48 months, 60 months, 72 months, 84 months. Even though it's not broken down to four squares, it contains all the same concepts of a Foursquare. It is old school. It is a way to get you to concentrate on the wrong aspect of the deal. And let's face it, dealerships are good at doing that.
I mean, Dad, at the end of the day, it is a tried and true approach to sell cars. It doesn't even matter if you call it a Foursquare, if you put Foursquare, they are actively trying to get you to think about these four things. There's a selling price for the car. Don't worry about how he got there. There's a value for your trade. Don't worry about how he got there. We need you to put more money down. Don't worry about why we need it, but we need it. Oh, and here's the payment that you wanted to be at. This is unequivocally how most car deals go down.
And typically the Foursquare, the first time it comes out, is the salesperson is going to say, well, what hurts the most? What's the biggest problem on this for you? Is it that cash down? I know we were looking for $5,000 down. What could you comfortably afford? Well, I only wanted to put $500. Well, if the difference between $500 and $5,000, that's $4,500. That's going to negatively impact those payments. So how much more could you come up with? Let's work on that pain point first. And so they're going to concentrate on the pain point of cash down and payment. They want you to do it in reverse order. because if you do it in reverse order, you have no idea ultimately what you paid for the vehicle.
Dad, we have a request to our community. This is anonymous and we need your help. Go to caredge.com/CCBI. That link has been on the ticker and I'll pop it in the chat right now. This is an anonymous survey that helps us produce our monthly CarEdge car buying index. Compared to a year ago, is your household's financial situation better, about the same, worse? We have questions here about vehicles, about dealerships, about trust in the industry. It is 100% anonymous, no information, no personal information gathered. Please share your input. Doesn't matter if you're in the market to buy a car or not. And we're doing this monthly now, folks. So for example, here, this was last month, so we didn't spend a lot of time on the show talking about it, but the headline number, 82% of Americans don't trust car dealers as affordability hits crisis levels. We've got so much good data that comes out of this CarEdge car buying index. You can see here only 20% of respondents believe the next 12 months will be a good time to buy a vehicle. 74% of car shoppers say vehicles are less affordable than a year ago, and 49% are not satisfied with vehicle inventory in their price range. The most alarming thing we found was that, Dad, most people cannot trust dealers or afford vehicles. Shocker.
Shocker. Only 82%. That means there's 18% of the population out there that thinks they can trust car dealers. And well, those 18% of the respondents need to get their heads examined.
And it's also low trust in the automakers, Dad. So 82% don't trust dealers. 59% report low trust in automakers. 2% express high trust.
And the reason, in my opinion, that customers don't trust the automakers is because the automakers know about the bait and switch that happens at so many of their dealerships as far as advertised price and then real price when you go to buy it. So they know about that. And then they get confronted with the fact that there's lease programs from the manufacturer. And when you go in to do it, you can't. Excuse me. So there's real good reasons why the buying public doesn't feel good about either the dealer or the manufacturer. They think they're both crooks. They just think the dealers are bigger crooks than the smaller crook manufacturers.
Yeah, exactly, Dad. Now, there is a bright spot in all this, which is folks like to research and they trust the research that they do. 86% of respondents feel confident the information they find when researching is accurate and unbiased. 78% trust independent websites like CarEdge for the most transparent information. Only 2% trust dealer websites the most.
Yeah, well, all the years that I was in the business, and I tried to fight it. I tried to inspire the owners that I worked for to find a better way, to be willing to look at better ways. What's the old saying? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so how do you change an archaic industry? One little bit at a time. The little things, the little changes that I was able to establish and make at the dealerships that I worked at were small, but it was like one small step for man, one giant step for mankind.
For sure.
It was pretty alarming to some of the owners that I worked for. But there is a better way, and there can be a better way, and there should be a better way. And we just need more dealer principals to accept the fact that this whole process could not only be fun and enjoyable, but it could be improved so dramatically that it'll be better for their staff, it'll be more profitable for the stores, and it'll make it easier to retain your customers. But most want to fight that instead of accept it.
Again, folks, we need your help. CarEdge.com/CCBI. We need about another 150 responses to this survey before we've got the number we need to run our new report. We got to get that done before the end of the month. So please take 3 minutes, fill this out. Again, 100% anonymous. And while I am on the website, I will do the promo. We've got our Black Friday special running, $300 off our car buying service, 30% off CarEdge Pro. Please take advantage of both back on the website, CarEdge.com. Dad, from no name We've got, do y'all agree not to talk about four squares at the Thanksgiving dinner table? No four square talk allowed.
I don't
outside the
even want to
dealership.
talk about the car business around the Thanksgiving dinner table or any other table, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. Spend enough time talking about it here. From OGG619, how do you handle a used vehicle inspection from out of state? This is a great question.
Yes, there are independent contractors out there that actually do things like that. And one of the things I would suggest, depending on what type of car you're looking at that's out of state, that whatever dealer it's at, say you're looking at a Toyota at a Honda dealership, well, call the local Toyota dealership and ask them what they would charge to do a pre-purchase inspection, and would it be possible for them to pick up the car so that they could do that for you.
Yeah, and I know my dad said independent contractors. I would say there are services out there. So
Yes.
Lemon Squad is a service. There might be some like Jane Doe, John Doe, independent type people, probably that as well. But if you're looking for just like a plug and play option, Lemon Squad is one. But I like what my dad said a lot. Call the local dealer that has the same, that represents the same manufacturer, and that represents a good opportunity to get them to take a peek. From earlier in the show, Dad, this is from Robert. Don't buy. Prices are already unaffordable. Going up from here is just more unaffordable. OEMs must inevitably address high prices. Wait, this is kind of what you and I have been preaching for years. I'm kind of at wit's end with it though. Like, the manufacturers have never been able to demonstrate a willingness to lower prices. And this is the first new model year where we're going to have the impact of tariffs. We might not want to talk about it, but they are going to impact MSRPs. They already are. And so the fact that the new car industry right now has such a significant oversupply of inventory, again, I'll pull it up on the screen. We're back to 3 million vehicles in inventory. I actually think it's bad advice to tell people who are in the market to buy a car to wait. I don't see that getting sweeter in January. I don't see it getting sweeter in February. Like, this is your moment.
Listen, the dealers and the manufacturers both know that the two slowest months of the year are January and February. They are not going to spend a lot of time, effort, and energy, especially marketing dollars, in incentives to keep the product flowing in January and February. What they will do and what they are doing is trying to create a sense of urgency now, especially with so many of the 0% interest rates that are being offered out there. So I think with the slowdown in sales in November, that perhaps we will see some enhancements from some of the manufacturers in some of the incentives for December. But I don't see the manufacturers being particularly strong incentive-wise coming in January and February. And it's twofold. They've already, December is pull ahead month. Okay, they know they're pulling ahead their customers that were going to buy a car in January, which is why they know January is going to be a slow month. So here's the deal: if you find something you like now, and you can negotiate it down to the price point that you find acceptable, and you can, if you're financing it, you can finance it at a rate that you find acceptable and affordable, then just buy it. Okay, the thought that you want to catch the bottom of the market typically means you're going to miss it. I mean, that's typically what happens. You know, we're waiting for the bottom of the market, and before you know it, you realize, oh, that's already passed. I kind of sort of missed it. Now I have to buy it on the upswing. So I would suggest to you, if you find anything that's acceptable now, you know you're catching it on the downswing. Whether or not you're catching it at absolute bottom shouldn't matter. That difference could be really insignificant over time.
Insignificant, or especially if you have a trade-in. We know that wholesale used car values, actually, let's see, let me pull it up really quickly. I didn't even look at the most recent Black Book Market Insights. Let's do it together. I haven't even looked. This is live. It could either tell the right story or the wrong story.
It's going to tell you the story that they continue to decline.
Yeah, so there you go. So this is wholesale used car depreciation at the dealer auctions. And we saw another week of 0.86% depreciation, which is significantly higher than what we've seen historically, which is 0.53. So what that tells me, Dad, is that if you have a trade-in, definitely making a car deal today makes more sense than continuing to wait, because your trade-in offer is going to go down significantly. We have a great guide back at CarEdge.com, trade-in tactics for success. Google search that, ChatGPT it, it'll pop right up. So yeah, I actually think the calculus is pretty straightforward. You do the move today. You don't anticipate. And again, we started today's show with another automaker, Audi, jacking up the prices of their next model year new vehicle. We're going to see more and more of that. From Tyson, thank you, Tyson.
Thank you.
What do you think of the Ford Lightning? Was thinking about buying one, but I know the battery tech will bet better in the future. Dad, what are your thoughts on the Lightning?
Here's what I think about the Lightning, and here's the thing that you really need to consider. Ford is in serious discussions about discontinuing the Lightning altogether. So that should tell you everything you need to know. If Ford isn't convinced of the success of that vehicle, I don't know why you might want to buy one.
Yeah.
Or lease one. Well, the only way to do it would be to lease it.
Or buy a used one. And obviously on the used side, it's going to be significantly depreciated.
Yes. But Ford is in serious discussions about just discontinuing that vehicle altogether.
All right, Dad, a friendly reminder to everyone, we've got our promo running, and more importantly, you should get a free consultation call with our team. Go to caredge.com/concierge, scroll down, schedule a time to talk to us or have us call you, or just live chat, and meet the folks who are working their butts day in and day out to get deals for our community members. I think we were just looking at Nick the other day, and it was like $805,000.
It was $803.
It was $803, and he closed 4 more deals, and now we're at $820,000 in cumulative savings for CarEdge customers. I think Nick, I don't want to start a little race here, but I think Nick's going to be the first one to $1 million in cumulative savings. Isn't that incredible?
That really, really is. And when you think about the 6 years that we've been doing this, I can't even begin to put a number as to how many, probably hundreds of millions of dollars we have saved people over the course of 6 years by just educating them and empowering them for when they did go into a dealership to buy a car.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. All right, folks, we are not here tomorrow, but we're back on Friday. Black Friday, we'll be here hanging out with you for more CarEdge Live. Dad, enjoy the afternoon, and look forward to getting back online with you on Friday.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy your...
Do you want to see the dog I'm pet sitting?
Oh, we'd love to see the dog you're pet sitting.
Okay. We're going to do a quick little apartment tour.
Is the dog here?
Yeah. The dog's in the apartment. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So this is my apartment.
This is Zach's apartment. And by the way, folks, it is a lovely apartment. It's not an apartment look at her. Hi, Lola. Yeah. What was she on tranquilizers?
She's just chilling, man.
Wow. What a beautiful little girl.
There she is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you're such a pretty girl.
All right. Well, there you go. That's an episode of CarEdge Live. We're back on Friday, folks. Love you, Dad.
Yep. Love you too, handsome. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. See you Friday.